Hello, hi, a very happy good evening. So this is Krishnaveni and we've been talking about the story of life on earth, and that's biology. So welcome to my lecture. So today we are in the last lecture of human reproduction. So this is lecture 4 where we are going to discuss about parturition and lactation. So I will tell you much in detail about how embryogenesis happens, and then we will continue about how parturition and lactation happens. So we also are going to discuss some important questions today. So we are going to discuss 20 questions. So let's see how much you can answer without making any mistake. So how many attempts you take to give me the right answer, that will also counted. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so it's going to be a very short lecture because I have only a small bit remaining, after which we are going to discuss questions. Fine. So as promised, so tomorrow 5 p.m. so we are going to discuss photosynthesis in higher plants. So we are done with human physiology. So now we are going to plant physiology. Okay, so for all those who are new to my lecture, so Monday, Wednesday and Friday I teach a class 12 chapter. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday I teach a class 11 chapter. Hi Antrim, a very happy good evening. So thank you so much for joining my lecture. Yes, I'm perfectly fine. How are you doing? I'm really sorry I couldn't get back to your dart. I'll get back to your dart right after class. Okay, I'm really sorry for being late. So I told you I will give you the examples, but then it just skipped out of my mind. I will give you the example right after the class. Okay, yes. So what are we going to talk about in your parturition and lactation? So let's see. So let me give you a quick recap of from fertilization and implantation. So you have a continuity and then we will end the chapter. Yes. Yeah, tomorrow 5 p.m. so we are going to have a recap of photosynthesis in higher plants. So I will try to finish off photosynthesis in 2 lecture, respiration in 2 lecture, so that the important parts I can cover before your exam. Right. So as promised, we also have a mentee in human physiology. So please prepare well. So today let's play with the timing. So let's see how it works, or we'll see if the mentee is better. So if mentee is time taking, then we will take only 1 leaderboard so that it saves all the time. So if I'm going to give you 40 questions in human physiology, I will have only 1 leaderboard at the end. So it saves a lot of time. It saves your time, it saves my energy, because for every leaderboard I have to cheer you up. Right? So maybe we can have only 1 leaderboard, so we can have something like that as well. Yes, Naveen, hello, welcome to my lecture. So I hope your preparation is going on fine. So thank you so much, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So shall we move ahead? Yes. So here we move. So lecture 4, human reproduction. So what are the topics that we were talking? So human reproduction has 7 stages, right? So first is gametogenesis, then insemination, etc. So it starts and goes on. So we are done with fertilization and implantation. So we are going to talk about pregnancy and embryonic development, and finally parturition and lactation. Hi Dharni, yes, a very happy good evening. Yes, I'm fine. How are you? Okay, fine. So let's move forward. So how does, so I will start from the stages of reproduction and directly go to fertilization. So I'm not talking about gametogenesis, I'm not talking about the structure. So how does the process of reproduction takes place? So reproduction has 7 steps. So the first step is gametogenesis. So that is formation of gametes. So once the gametes are formed, then the gametes have to meet. So that is by a process known as insemination. Yes, Swami, hello, hi, a very happy good evening. So thank you for joining my lecture. Guys, please do like, share and subscribe. Okay, so gametogenesis, insemination. So after insemination, what happens is fusion. So this is fertilization. So fertilization leads to the formation of your zygote. Okay, yes, yes. Today we are going to talk about your chorion layer, your amnion layer. So what is your co-ionic villi? So where does placenta come from? So today we are going to discuss all that in detail. Okay, so after fertilization, it undergoes a stage known as blastocyst, the series of division. After that, it gets implanted. So after implantation, you have the development of the embryo, which we call as embryogenesis. And finally, we have your parturition. So that is child delivery. This is followed by lactation. right? So these are the stages of your reproduction step. Yes, Shimpi, hello, hi, a very happy good evening. Yes, I'm absolutely fine. How are you doing? Good. So please don't forget to like and share, subscribe the session. So come on guys, please do like the session. Okay. So now I will start from this stage of fertilization so that you have a continuous story here. Fine. So how does fertilization happens? So fertilization happens in the fallopian tube, especially in the ampulla region. Right? So in the ampulla region, you have your fertilization taking place. So here we have the infundibulum with the fimbriae. So here I have the ovary. So here it is the uterus. So this is attached to the uterus via ligaments. So this releases the ova. So the ova goes here. So sperm also comes here. So now we have your secondary oocyte. So there is a layer. So surrounding it, there's another layer. So this is your perivitelline space, if you remember. So this perivitelline space is surrounded by your zona pellucida. So surrounding this, I have my corona radiata layer. So this is the layer of corona radiata, if you remember. So now what happens? A sperm comes here. Right? So when the sperm comes and interacts with your zona pellucidum, so the sperm has what is known as acrosomes, right? So the acrosome of the sperm changes the membrane permeability of zona pellucidum so that it does not allow any other sperm to enter the ovum. One sperm is fertilized by one ovum. Ma'am, how about twins? So hold on, okay? Fine? Okay. So now the sperms now enter into the cytoplasm of the secondary oocyte. So the moment the sperm enters the cytoplasm of the secondary oocyte, so your secondary oocyte completes the second meiotic division. So this completes second meiotic division. So the second meiotic division leads to the formation of ooted, which is haploid, and a secondary polar body. So here the ooted fuses with the sperm and it forms the zygote. So where does all this happen? In the ampullary region of the oviduct. Okay? Till this much is clear to everyone? Fine. So I am moving forward. So once the fusion has happened, so once the zygote has formed, so the zygote takes nearly 5 to 7 days to reach the uterus. So uterus is the place where it gets implanted, right? So it takes 5 to 7 days to reach the uterus. So what happens in the meanwhile? So in the meanwhile, zygote undergoes a series of division. So this series of division is known as blastomeres. Like what does the division happen? So it is 2-cell stage. So it is 4-cell stage. Then you have 8-cell stage and then you have 16-cell stage. So 2-cell, 4-cell, 8-cell, 16-cell stage. So these are the different divisions that is taking place. So this 8-cell to the 16-cell stage of division of the zygote is known as morula. So by now it is almost towards the isthmus junction. So above your ampullary region you have your isthmus junction, right? So it is morula. So after morula it becomes a blastocyst stage. It becomes like this. So this is your blastocyst stage. So this is the stage just prior to implantation. So it has reached the uterus right now. So this is known as your inner cell mass and this is your tropoblast. So this stage is known as your blastocyst stage. Right? Now your tropoblast gets attached to the uterine wall. So what layer of uterus is present? The endometrium layer. So your tropoblast gets attached to the endometrial layer of the uterine wall. Okay. So this step is known as implantation. So after blastocyst stage, it gets implanted. Clear? Hi Munna. Yes, a very happy good evening. Yes, I am good. How are you? So thank you so much for joining my session. So are you reading properly? So your online classes are going on. So do you have any doubts in biology? Okay, Munna. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Okay. So now the embryo gets implanted. So trophoblast helps in implantation and your inner cell mass gets differentiated into embryonic germ layers. It gets differentiated into embryonic germ layers or germ cells. So it divides into endoderm. Sorry, the outermost is ectoderm. Ectoderm. Then you have mesoderm, the middle layer, and then you have the endoderm. Right? The moment your inner cell mass differentiate, so this is known as your gastrulation stage, or this is known as gastrula stage. Fine? Why? What happened, Munna? Why are you not good? You're not feeling well? What happened? Yes, what happened? Okay, gastrula. Fine. So till this it's clear. So once it has got implanted, right? So your trophoblast leads to the formation of finger-like projections around the implanted embryo. It forms finger-like projections on the place of attachment. Okay, if this is the endometrial layer, it is getting attached like this. So it forms finger-like projections here. Okay, so this finger-like projections is known as chorion. So this forms your chorionic villi. Which later develops into the placenta. Clear? So you understood what is the function of chorion layer. So that develops into your placenta. So placenta separates the maternal blood and the fetal blood, right? So you have the placenta. So this side you have the mother, this side you have the fetus. The fetus and the placenta are connected by your umbilical cord. Clear? Okay. So how is it? So I have my placenta. So placenta separates the fetus, and here I have the mother's blood or the maternal blood. So placenta is connected to the fetus by what is known as your umbilical cord. Fine. So this is one part. So the next part, so since you have the trophoblast and this is your inner cell mass, right? So this is your inner cell mass. So this is your yolk sac. Okay. So now it develops into, so this inner cell mass, okay, it differentiates into your ectoderm, your endoderm and your mesoderm. Right. So when it differentiates, it forms a layer like this. So it becomes a discoidal cavity like this. Okay. So this is your ectoderm. So endoderm, and then you have a mesoderm like this. The space between your endoderm and your trophoblast. So the innermost layer is your endoderm, right? So the space between your endoderm and your trophoblast is your amnion layer. So this forms the amniotic cavity, which has the amniotic fluid. So this amniotic layer, it acts as a shock absorber. So just like a skull is protected by the brain, so your amniotic layer acts as a shock absorber. Understood? Okay, Anthony Abhi. Hi Pooja. Hello. A very happy evening. How are you doing? Good. So you're enjoying the CP Live classes. So you are taking classes through the live app, right? So how are you doing? So thank you so much for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. Okay, so these are the different layers that I wanted to talk about. So now I move forward. So later phase of pregnancy, relaxin is secreted by the ovary. So relaxin secreted by the ovary. So it helps in the contraction, so it helps in the relaxation of the muscles. There's another hormone called as inhibin. So inhibin is also secreted by the ovary. It is like a feedback mechanism. The inhibin that is secreted acts on your pituitary gland to stop the production of gonadotropins. Now we no longer need FSH and LH, right? So that is the role of inhibin. So your HCG, your HPL, relaxin are produced during the pregnancy. Okay? Okay, you now are coming from physics class, alright, so you are a very busy student right now, but still thank you so much for joining my lecture amid your busy schedule. Okay. So if you ask me, corpus luteum also secretes progesterone. So progesterone is needed for pregnancy, right? So progesterone supports pregnancy. So it is needed for the maintaining the endometrial layer. So during the initial days, progesterone is secreted by the corpus luteum, and during the later stage of pregnancy, progesterone is secreted by your placenta. Because the corpus luteum degenerates, it becomes corpus albicans, right? So then placenta secretes your progesterone. So HPL, human placental lactogen, that is also a type of hormone that is secreted by placenta. Okay, so placenta is for a short period endocrine hormone, endocrine gland. Okay, so other hormones along with estrogen, progesterone, cortisol. So we also need prolactin, we also need thyroxine. If there is no thyroxine, that leads to crenetism, right? You remember? So this increases several folds in the maternal blood. So what is the function of all this? It supports the fetal growth, metabolic changes in the mother, so maintenance of pregnancy, that is the uterus enlarges and all that. So all these are the use of these hormones. So this is your placenta, if you can see. So this is your placenta. So this is your chorionic villi. So this is where it has got implanted. Okay, so this connection from the placenta to the fetus is through your umbilical cord, right? So the space between your trophoblast and the innermost layer endoderm is your amniotic layer, right? Yes, Hashimoto's disease is due to hypothyroidism. So crenetism is especially in females who are pregnant and they have less amount of thyroid hormones. Okay, so pregnancy and further embryonic development after implantation, the ICM of the embryo differentiates. So the outer is ectoderm, the inner is endoderm, and the middle is mesoderm. So first the ectoderm arises, then the endoderm arises, and at the last the layer between the two arises, that is your mesoderm. Okay, so ICM also contains stem cells, that is potent cells that is capable of converting into all tissues and organs. So this is what we call as the stem cell. Or umbilical cord is also very rich in stem cell. It can be converted into any type of tissue or organ, right? Okay. So parturition and lactation, the average duration of pregnancy is 9 months, that is known as gestation. So approximately it is 280 days. So vigorous contraction of the uterus at the end of pregnancy, it leads to the expulsion or the delivery of the fetus. The delivery of the child is known as parturition and it is induced by complex neuroendocrine mechanism. So how does it all begin? So how does the mother have what is known as the labor pain? So they say no, the labor pain happens, only then you are supposed to go to the hospital and deliver the baby. So what exactly happens? So once the baby is fully developed, the baby starts initiating a signal. The baby sends a signal saying, I am done living here, it is very congested, so now I want to move out, right? So that is the first signal. So based on the signal, so this signal from the fetus is known as fetal ejection reflex, okay? So this fetal ejection reflex, so what are you confused about the stages of the growth, about the 3 trimesters? About the 3 trimesters you are confused? So what happens in the first trimester, etc.? Is that what you're confused about? Yes? So the pregnancy is almost 9 months, right? So we have divided this into the first 3 months. So the pregnancy is totally in 9 months. So we divide it into the first 3 months, the next 3 months, and the last 3 months. So this 3-month period is known as your first trimester. So this is your second trimester. So this is your third trimester. Okay, fine. So at the end of the first trimester, this is 3 months. 1 month has 4 weeks, so we totally have 12 weeks. So at the end of 12 weeks, the heart develops. So at the end of third trimester, you will be able to hear the heartbeat of the child. So the heart develops. So in the second trimester, you have the development of the limbs. Then slowly you have the development of your hair. So now finally all the organs become well developed. Okay? Yes? So here your zona pellucida layer helps in implantation only in the uterus. It does not allow implantation anywhere in the passage. So when implantation happens in a fallopian tube, that is miscarriage or ectopic pregnancy. Done? Antonia B, is this clear? So I develops in your second trimester. Clear? Any more doubts? Any more doubts? Yes, ma'am. A very happy good evening. So thank you so much for joining my lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe. So Antony, done? Any more doubts? Okay, so here henceforth we continue. So the fetus sends a signal saying it is done growing. So fetus sends a signal. It sends a signal to the CNS. So indicating that it wants to move out. Okay. So this signal from the fetus is known as your fetal ejection reflex. So now your CNS in turn indicates your pituitary gland, especially your neurohypophysis, to secrete what is known as oxytocin, because oxytocin helps in the contraction of the smooth muscles of the uterus. And thus the baby comes out. Okay? Yes? Is this clear? Ma'am, for KVPY, I need to do all the syllabus for 11th and 12th of a word. So you have KVPY, no, you have separate set of syllabus for 11th and separate for 12th as well. So, okay. So now which standard are you in? If you are in 12th, yes, then you have to do both 11th and 12th. So you have equal weightage for plants, you have equal. So actually 11th you have more of plants, that is photosynthesis, etc. Okay, and your human physiology to some extent comes in your 11th. In 12th you have to concentrate on your genetics, etc. So which class are you? When are you attempting to write your KVPY? So that also I need to know. Okay, Pooja? Yes. So this is how the child delivery happens. So signal for parturition originate from fully developed fetus and the placenta. So this induces mild contraction. This is fetal ejection reflex. This triggers the release of oxytocin from the maternal pituitary. So oxytocin acts on the uterine muscles, causes stronger and stronger uterine contraction. It especially happens on the myometrium layer. So further secretion of oxytocin. So stimulatory reflex between the uterine contraction and the oxytocin secretion causes stronger and stronger contraction that leads to the expulsion of baby out through the birth canal. This is known as parturition. So parturition is followed by lactation. The mammary glands of the female undergo differentiation during pregnancy. They start producing milk towards the end of pregnancy, that is lactation. So milk produced during the initial few days of the lactation is known as colostrum. So it contains several antibodies which gives resistance to the newborn. So the antibody that is present in colostrum is IgA. A stands for alpha, right? Yes. So with that we are done with your human reproduction. Now let's quickly solve questions. So I have only 20 questions. If you answer quickly, yes, we are done with the lecture for today. Yes. So shall we go ahead? So is human reproduction clear? So next one class, so today is Wednesday, so Friday I'll finish off reproductive health, so we'll be done with the reproduction unit as well. So once and for all, reproduction is done. So I have 2 units in class 12 and only 1 unit in class 11, so which I'll finish before maximum by 2nd of September. Okay, so let's solve the question. So Antonia, we said we'll have a timer. So I don't know where the timer comes. It comes somewhere here. Okay, so I'm not sure where the timer comes. Let's continue here because I forgot where to go for the timer. So try answering. The dash leads to vas difference that ascends to the dash and loops over the dash. Yes, any guess what will be the answer here? So the dash leads to your vas difference that ascends to the dash and loops over the dash. Yes, Antonia B, so that was a very quick reply. So we know, so your epididymis leads to vas difference. So before that it is rete testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis and your vas difference. So epididymis moves to vas difference. So this ascends to the abdomen because of testis is below the abdominal sac and this loops over the urinary bladder. So the pathway is rete testis. Then you have your vasa efferentia. So after which you have your epididymis. And then you have your vas difference. Right? Okay. So question 2. Vasa efferentia are the ductules leading from epididymis to urethra. Vas difference to epididymis. From rete testis to vas difference. From reticular lobules to the rete testis. Question number 2. So what can be the answer? So we are talking about vasa efferentia. So what are the 2 regions that it connects? Yes, can you give me the right guess here? Yes, what can be the answer? So we have rete testis. So we have vasa efferentia. So we have epididymis. So we have vas difference. So finally it opens out into the urethra. So now tell me which is right. It can definitely not be from epididymis to urethra because vasa efferentia is before epididymis, so this is wrong. From vas difference to epididymis, this is completely the reverse order, this is also wrong. From rete testis to vas difference, yes, this is sensible. From testicular lobules to rete testis, no, they are talking about your seminiferous tubules, so this is wrong. So only one answer is absolutely right, okay? Yes, question 3, a sac shaped like an upside down pear with a thick lining and muscles in the pelvic area where a fertilized egg or zygote comes to grow into a baby is known as oviduct, uterus, vagina, vulva. Yes, question 3, so what is that structure? Yes, what is that structure? Yes, so the place where the baby grows, so uterus is also known as the womb. So womb is an inverted pear shape. So here the right answer is uterus. Okay, so moving forward, question 4. Spermatids are transformed into sperms by a process known as spermiation, implantation, insemination, spermiogenesis. It is definitely not implantation, it is definitely not insemination. So it has to be between spermiation and spermiogenesis. So spermiation is the process of release of sperms from the seminiferous tubules. So spermiogenesis is the process where your spermatids are converted into sperms. Right? So here the right answer is spermiogenesis. So after birth, colostrum is released from the mammary glands, which is rich in fat and low in proteins, proteins and low in fat, proteins, antibodies and low in fat, proteins, fat and low in antibodies. So question number 5, which is the answer? So we have already solved this question before. Yes, quick. Yes. What is the answer here? Yes, come on. So it has proteins, it has antibodies, that is IgA, and it is low in fat. So here the answer is D, no Shimpi. We have low fat but we have more amount of antibodies. It is not D, you have low antibodies and you have more of fat? Definitely not. So Antonia B, so here it is low in fat and more of antibodies. Hi Vinay, how are you? So thank you for joining my lecture. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Fine. So question 6. Increased secretion of which hormone starts the process of sperm formation at the time of puberty? Growth hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone, prolactin or your GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone. So we are talking about the process of your sperms, right? Where did I say IgG? I said IgA for colostrum. So we are talking about colostrum, IgA. So IgG is passed through the placenta. So when the child is developing inside, so IgG is present. When it is born and the mother is breastfeeding, it is IgA. So colostrum is rich in IgA. IgG is a placental antibody. Okay? Yes? Fine. So increased secretion of which hormone? Yes. So it is definitely not growth hormone, not thyroid stimulating hormone, definitely not prolactin. So it is gonadotropin releasing hormone. Okay? So question 7, which of the following is a finger-like projection and lies at the upper junction of the two labia minora above the urethral opening? Clitoris, oviduct, ampulla, chorionic villi. So question number 7. So what is the answer for question number 7? Yes? Quick. So whenever you see the term finger-like structure, so please don't get confused with chorionic villi. So they are asking two labia minora. So this is in the external female genitalia. So this is clitoris. Okay. So chorionic villi comes after your implantation. No, Antonia B, why are you saying chorionic villi? Read the whole question. That lies in the junction of two labia minora. Do you have chorionic villi here? No, they are talking about the external female genitalia. So the right answer here is clitoris. Don't make a mistake like this, right? Yes. Two polar bodies are totally produced, okay? Yes. So one during the puberty, the next one at the time of fertilization. No, it is only two. We have only two polar bodies produced, not three. Okay? Yes. Sorry, question 8. So which of the following stage of oogenesis forms a membrane called as zona pellucidia surrounding it? Oogonia, polar body, corpus luteum, secondary oocyte. Okay, Antonia B, fine. Yes. So where it forms the zona pellucidia layer in your oogenesis? Yes. So your secondary oocytes help in the formation of your zona pellucidia. Yes, absolutely right. So which of the following contains a fluid-filled cavity that is known as antrim? Primary spermatocyte, primary follicle of the ovary, tertiary follicle, secondary spermatocyte. So fluid-filled cavity forms in the oogenesis. So it is not primary or secondary spermatocyte. It is in the tertiary follicle of the ovary. You have a fluid-filled cavity that is antrim. So your tertiary follicle surrounds or encloses your secondary oocyte, right? Fine, sorry, primary oocyte which further undergoes division. So menstruation is triggered by a sudden decline in the amount of hormone secreted by corpus luteum. So identify the hormone: luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, progesterone, estrogen. So question 10, what is the answer? First polar body divides into two. No. Maybe I'll cross check and let you know in tomorrow's class. Okay, Naveen, I will cross check and let you know tomorrow. Okay, so as far as I know, it is only 2, but I'll cross check and let you know tomorrow, or if I know the answer, I will get back to you in Telegram. Fine? Yes, so here it is progesterone, so this is understood. So the remaining set of 10 questions, here we go. Which layer of blastocyst gets attached to the endometrium? Trophoblast, inner cell mass, umbilical cord, both A or C? So which layer of blastocyst gets attached to the endometrium? Trophoblast, inner cell mass, umbilical cord, both A or C? Yes, what is the answer? What gets attached? The outer layer. So the outer layer here is trophoblast. Yes, right. So question 12. The primary germ layers are ectoderm and inner cell mass only. Trophoblast, ectoderm, mesoderm. So endoderm and mesoderm only. Ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So question number 12. So what are the germ layers that is formed? So Shimpi says C, umbilical cord gets attached. No, umbilical cord forms after implantation. Okay. Yes, I will cross check and tell you. So we will clarify this doubt tomorrow. So what are the primary germ layers? So here the primary germ layers are your ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. Right? Okay. So can I move forward? So Shimpi, it is C, it is D here. So all the 3 layers are primary layers from which your organs develop, right? Okay. So question 13. So which gland releases a small amount of fluid just prior to ejaculation to decrease acidity in the urethra caused by the urine? So what decreases the acidity caused by the urine? So it's definitely not prostate, not glans penis, not seminal plasma. So it is your bulbourethral gland. So bulbourethral gland cleans the urethral passage because of the acidity of the urine. Right? So here the answer is option D. So question 14. The first polar body is formed during the formation of dash, completion of dash meiotic division. So when is the first polar body formed? Yes, can you give me the answer? Question number 14. Yes, when exactly is the first polar body formed? So according to NCERT, it is only 2 polar body. So let me go through the medical books that I have and I'll let you know exactly. Okay? Yes, so first polar body is formed during the formation of your secondary oocyte. And it helps in the completion, and it is during the completion of the first meiotic division. Yes, Shimpi, absolutely right. Very good. So question 15. Which of the following process induces the completion of the meiotic division of the secondary oocyte? Parturition, implantation, fertilization, gametogenesis. Parturition comes after fertilization, so it is not applicable here. Implantation as well. So gametogenesis is not there because secondary oocyte is already the process of gametogenesis. So fertilization, just prior to fertilization, the second meiotic division is completed. Okay. Yes, let me cross check and then I'll let you know. Okay, Naveen? Yes. So question 16, which of the following pair is incorrectly matched? So Leydig cells, testosterone, spermatogenesis, seminiferous tubule, male reproductive system, pelvic region, spermatogonia undergoes meiotic division. So which of the following is incorrectly matched? Yes, which of the following here is incorrectly matched? Any idea? So Leydig cells is not testosterone. So Leydig cell, so what is the answer here? Sorry, Leydig cell undergoes, okay, Leydig cell helps in the production of hormone, that is androgen. Spermatogonia, initially it undergoes meiotic division, but it also undergoes meiotic division, not only mitotic division. So here this is wrong, this is not completely wrong, okay. But yes, initially spermatogonia also undergoes mitotic division, right? Okay, and it also undergoes meiotic division, so that is not mentioned. No, Leydig cells produces your androgens. The most important androgen is your testosterone. This is right. So question 17, see if you can answer. Given below is a diagrammatic sketch of a portion of the human male reproductive system. Select the correct set of names of the parts marked as A, B, C, D. So A we know is vas deferens, okay, and B we know is your bulbourethral gland. So here the right answer is option C. Do you agree? Yes, we know this is vas deferens. So we have a pair of this D structure. So it is your bulbourethral gland. So this is your seminal vesicle and this is your prostate gland. So it is option C, not D. So this portion is not prostate. So C is your prostate. So C is not bulbourethral. Bulbourethral is towards the end of your urethra. So question 18, refer the figure of mammary gland with few structures marked as A, B, C, D. Which structure contains cluster of milk secreting cells? So where do you have the cluster of milk secreting cells? Yes? Yes, prostate is single. So here you have a cluster of milk secreting cell. So here the right answer is option A, that is alveoli cells, right? So A is nothing but mammary tubules which consist of your alveoli. So B is okay. So A is mammary tubules. So So A is lobules, right? Mammary lobules, and B is tubules. Tubules arise from the alveoli, but the cluster of cell is the alveoli itself, right? Okay. So question 19, the figure given below shows the sectional view of seminiferous tubule. Which marked structure A to D undergoes secondary meiotic division? Okay. To produce 4 haploid cells called the spermatids. So which structure undergoes second meiotic division to produce 4 haploid cells? Yes, question number 19. So which gives you 4 equal haploid cells? Primary spermatocyte undergoes meiotic division 1, meiotic division 2 to give you 4 haploid cells, right? So here, which is your secondary spermatocyte? Any idea? Yes? Yes. So this is your primary spermatocyte. So this is your primary spermatocyte, but this is the stem cell. So stem cells are towards the base. The one that comes on top is ready to undergo meiotic division. See, all these are undergoing meiotic division, right? So this is your sperm. So this is the one that is ready to give rise to 4 haploid cells. So here your answer is option B. The last question for the day, the figure below shows the structural sectional view of the ovary. So select the option which gives correct identification of the marked structure A to D and its features. So we have A here. A is primary follicle. It is also called as a gamete mother cell. B is the corpus luteum. So it cannot be formed and added after birth. So this is definitely wrong. So C is Graafian follicle. So it's a mature follicle which ruptures to release the secondary oocyte. So D is the tertiary follicle. A large number of follicles degenerate during the phase from the birth to the puberty. So here which one is absolutely right? So understand, gamete mother cell is produced during the fetal embryo, or it is produced in the fetal ovary, so it will not be visible here. So the only right thing here is the Graafian follicle. So the mature follicle which ruptures to release the secondary oocyte, the process known as ovulation. No, tertiary follicle does not degenerate, primary follicle degenerates. Okay, Shimpi? Yes? So the questions are fine? Yes, thank you. So with this, we are done with human reproduction. So tomorrow, I'll clarify your doubts about the polar body. I have to get back to the question or the doubt of Antony B. So tomorrow, we are starting with photosynthesis. So tomorrow, we'll meet at 5 p.m. Okay? Yes? So with this, we come to the end of today's lecture. So if you genuinely liked my way of teaching, so please do like, share and subscribe. And thank you so much for making the lecture very interesting. So please prepare well. So be in a good state of mental health. So stay healthy as well and take care. Take all the precautions. So this is me wishing you more and more. So stay tuned. I will meet you tomorrow.